Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Miami Rent Increases by 58%. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Now, let's get started. For those of you who are thinking of moving elsewhere to find cheaper rent, we have some interesting news for you. Here's a list of recent rent increases seen in the following cities over the last 24 months. Miami's rent has increased by 58%. Tampa, Florida, gone up by 45%. Orlando has increased by 35% over the last 2 years. Richmond, Virginia, 30%. Washington, D.C. has increased by 5%. Chicago, Illinois rent has gone up by 6.7%. So what do we deduce from all of this? Here's what we and other people predict. First of all, it's clear that a lot of people from the New York area are still flooding into Miami to do more remote working because the Miami rent prices are still lower than the rent they were paying in Manhattan. What's interesting about that now is that rent in New York is starting to collapse. And it's collapsing for two reasons. The first reason is that everyone is leaving Manhattan because the prices were too high before. And the second is that the crime has exploded so dramatically that even though it was incredibly high 2 years ago, the level of crime we now see in New York is now beginning to rival what's being seen in the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Some people think that may be an exaggeration, but we don't. Let me tell you why. In New York recently, a crazy man entered a subway and attacked passengers with tear gas, with a Glock firearm, with smoke grenades, and a hatchet. The only reason he wasn't able to kill everybody on that subway was because his gun jammed. Apparently, he had an extended magazine, and his Glock somehow just jammed because of it. That's similar to how the Russians are attacking innocent Ukrainians. Poor civilians now are being attacked by Russian soldiers. What's interesting about the New York killer is that after he shot up the subway, he then walked around the city out in the open for 29 more hours, and not a single police officer noticed him or recognized him, even though the mayor claims that everybody was out there looking really hard for him. They just weren't able to find him until a tipster called their tip line and gave them the exact location. So while the super rich are still flooding into Miami, there's another problem growing there. Illegals are now being flown and bussed into Miami from other parts of the country. The number of illegals will continue to grow and place a growing burden on infrastructure for the city. While the super rich continue to flock there and the poor illegals continue to get sent there, it's becoming clear now that most middle-class individuals will soon not be able to afford to live in the city of Miami. And don't forget about all the sinking high-rises that continue to sink deeper into the earth, just like we saw recently. And then there's the enormous financial gorilla in the room. Almost all the financial and real estate experts now believe that the real estate bubble is going to collapse imminently. If so, what does that mean for rent prices? Well, on one level, rent prices are linked to property prices. If the property prices collapse dramatically when real estate collapses, then it's bound to exert downward pressure on some rent prices. Rent prices are also linked to other factors like crime and employment levels and taxes in your area. If the crime continues to skyrocket, then rents will eventually collapse no matter what. Nobody wants to get shot at coming out of their house, no matter what the price of rent is. If the jobs disappear, then that will also drive rent prices down. If the jobs are moving to your area, then that will exert upward pressure on rents. Geography, jobs, crime, taxes, and other factors all exert an influence on rent markets wherever you are. If some or all of these factors change dramatically, then the effect on rent prices will respond accordingly. We suspect that if real estate and the stock market bubbles all collapse, then the public will see huge downward adjustments in rental prices in some cities, and things will stay the same in other cities. These are very strange times, and they're getting stranger and stranger. So strap yourself in because this ride is getting very bumpy. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Thank you, and we shall talk to you soon. Bye-bye.